Welcome to The Neighborhood, a show where a mother and her daughter talk about business, community, and everything in between. Now hop aboard the trolley and let's go.
Welcome to The Neighborhood. This is Gina.
And Taylor.
Yeah, we're here. This is an exciting first
Why?
because we have a producer.
We do have a producer.
Hello.
But and you know what? I think this was the way it was meant to be all along.
This is.
Because she has a face for radio. And so
Oh my gosh.
I've always said that. You know what though? She does hold the power, so I should
She
be.
does.
I should.
Suddenly
if your
Taylor's
mic goes out,
goes mute.
it was
Yeah.
purposeful.
Bailey is our
But we've
producer.
always wanted you to be involved. But you always were like, I don't
be."
want to
Yeah.
be. But then I'm
And
like,
we
okay,
make her.
but then when it's just us, we're struggling to do some of the
I can't
production.
see it. Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is so
Well, then
great.
can't see is pretty easy to solve. Glasses. But I understand the sentiment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
So it's exciting. So every now and then I said, really, I'm just here for her to fact check,
she's going to fact check, but she's also going to chime in with things. Yeah.
if she feels so inclined.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have to because she's not on
she's
camera.
not on camera. But if she wants to say, hold on, I just found the real results of what you were saying, how false you
in-
were.
I will be fact
Fact-checking,
checking.
yeah.
I will
Yeah.
be reading comments.
So,
It's
Yeah,
very
sure. Yeah. So
exciting.
it's great.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So that's
So say
exciting.
hey to Bailey.
Yeah. Hey, Bay. So yeah. So if you have comments, questions, now we have somebody with good eyesight who's actually looking.
There's
at
always been
them.
someone with good eyesight here. I
Well,
just want to put that
But
out
she
there.
was looking at the computer. I was.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
true.
was the problem.
There is a problem. It's called
So,
control, letting it go, delegating. There's many terms. You always have to. But here's the
You
thing.
know what?
I don't have
almost-
headphones anymore.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So we used to
Oh,
not
I
do a
used to
video.
it just to drive her crazy. Go.
And I'm an audio file. I don't know what the correct term is, but like, yeah, okay, that just sounded too easy.
That's
It just
because it
felt
is.
too Latin. Like he's like audio file. Yeah, I don't. I'm like a big squirm crawling my skin with the sound. Like ASMR is my nightmare, and she knew that. And as my mother, she really poked that bruise a lot.
I did.
And so when we had headphones, she would do it, and I'd be like, "Ugh," and turn her microphone down. Now I'm like, "Go crazy."
Yeah.
Can't hear it
You know what? Later, I'll make you listen to it over and over. I'll
Somehow?
send it to you.
somehow.
I'll send you an audio clip.
Yeah, and I
Um,
won't.
but yeah, it's fun to be here with this kind of new setup. And
I know.
so our first segment, because
Because of our
last
rebrand.
week, it wasn't really a rebrand, it was a reorg.
Restructure, reorg.
Restructure.
Yeah. Restructure, because the reorg, it's like we're all still a little bit of a reorg with the new producer.
True. New
So,
producer.
But yeah, we're gonna restructuring and saying that we're gonna do it. We're gonna jump in with some, we called it chips last time. Here's your appetizer.
Your little chips.
But we
Yeah,
are gonna get to the main course quicker than a Mexican restaurant.
true.
So,
So our first segment, our little chips before is, oh yeah, I guess we could get on
did
the
you hit the
trolley.
trolley?
Not yet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Learning. Would
She's
you like
calling.
to hop
She's
on?
calling the trolley.
Yeah. Would you
I
like?
just
she
purchased
didn't-
tickets.
She just got us tickets, so we'll get in line while the trolley gets here, and
Okay.
then we'll
Oh,
know.
here it comes. I think I
It's
hear it.
coming.
Yep, it's going.
Okay.
Perfect.
So the producer does help us get on to the trolleys
So we
because
don't
We're working out the
she's
kinks
our
a little.
she's
Yeah.
our seeing ear dog.
Oh,
hearing ear
You
dog.
guys just missed the trolley.
Oh no, we got
Yeah,
on.
We got on.
Yeah.
We got on. We jumped on. So our first segment is what's exciting.
You go first.
Okay. Well, what has been all consuming and exciting is we're buying this building.
That is exciting. That
Mm.
is really exciting.
is
We've
very
been trying for years.
When I'm kind of counting my chickens before they hatch.
For sure you are. Not
We're
even
in the-
kind of.
Yeah, we are. There's some that are already hatching.
We have
and
like
I'm
you've got
counting
loan
them.
documents submitted.
Yeah,
There's no
submitted all the
contract
loans.
drawn up.
This morning, before I even left the house, I was on a call with the banker. I was on a call with our attorney, and I was on the call with our broker, Trent. Trent and I have multiple calls per day, and it's this close.
Okay.
Yeah, we're at the finish line. Well, we're at the, what do you call it? The final mile. The green,
Okay.
we're in the red zone.
Where are you getting that
look at
from?
football term. I mean, I'm always
Oh,
speaking
that's
football
why I don't know
terminology.
it. Okay.
Um,
Last lap.
Yeah, I'm on the last
Yeah.
lap.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I've submitted all the loan documents. This morning they needed to see what our expenses are once our construction debt is paid off from last year. And so I had to submit that this morning. But it's like we're in the final things that I'm submitting.
Yeah.
And then we will, and I was telling Bailey this morning, all these numbers. I'm having to do so many spreadsheets, which is giving me hives. I'm just a girl that wants to buy an $11 million building. Why do they need
Why do you need
numbers? Why do you need spreadsheets from me?
Yeah. Just give me this
Just give
$11
me the
million
bill.
thing.
So that's what's exciting.
Just trust me.
I mean, it's exciting to think.
Yeah.
6 months ago, we thought there's no way.
Well, it's
even a month
even
ago.
farther back to even a month ago. But even farther back, it's interesting because okay, so we expanded almost 3 years ago.
2 years.
Oh, May was 2 years
Yeah.
ago. Feels
Yeah.
like 600.
Well, June
Was
1st
when we
was
busted
when
the
we
wall
first
down.
busted. We got the keys and yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Just feel like
2
a lot's
years.
happened since
Yeah.
then. But okay, so yeah, we bust the wall down 2 years ago and we talk about we accrue all this construction debt. And then
So
and
much.
then we're like, how are we going to fill these offices? And not only are all your offices filled,
Yeah.
now you're buying the building, and now like there's been so much. Which the owners 2 owners ago, or the previous
I know
owners,
there's been 3 owners since we've been in here. 5
this
years.
just couldn't have it couldn't have happened
No.
this way. So
It is
honestly,
the
it's one of
perfect
those like.
storm. It's like when you get a door closing
Yeah.
and somebody tells you no, it could be
And it's been
that there's a better
There have been
yes.
many discouraging moments in the last couple of years.
So many.
Like so many low points, so many nights
You know
where
what's interesting?
What?
And it dawned on me last night
yeah.
as Dad was telling me about his high blood pressure
Oh,
that
okay.
he was diagnosed with.
Okay, first
Yes.
time he's been diagnosed with that.
Well, he's
or-
probably had it for a long time,
okay.
but he finally went to a doctor for it yesterday.
Okay.
And I know you're listening, Mr. Shrek.
I'm
Is
sure.
he?
I'm sure
And-
he's gonna love.
Yeah, that
having
I'm
his
sharing
medical
this.
history.
Yeah, well,
That's a HIPAA violation.
violation.
That's why you're here.
That's why you're here
Just
to keep
keeping
us
it
in line.
We'll
accordance
cut
to
that out
legal.
later.
As
Oh
he's-
wait, this is live.
as he's telling me that the reason he's having, I mean, he didn't say this, but I know the reason he's having high blood pressure is because of me. Because of me.
Listen, he
always
knew
me.
that he knew the job was dangerous when
Sorry.
he took it. Okay, as in when he met
He
you,
did.
he knew you were crazy,
He did.
and he still married you.
And you know what? It's his fault now. So, but yes, it's been a
But
lot.
he's telling you,
Oh,
and
yes.
it dawned on you.
It dawned on me.
We weren't
thank you.
just here to reveal his medical information.
It dawned on me that I haven't had the feeling of wanting to cry or have a breakdown in a long time,
What's a long time?
like since you left. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but really
Since
though, it
last
may
year,
have been.
Like before you left, when we were having like the super stress times of construction
Yeah.
and the build out, like we were having regular breakdowns.
See, here's the thing. I've assumed in the last 6 months you've had them. You just haven't
No,
told me about them.
I have
Because
By the way,
not.
shout out Nikki Brooker, 2 of my favorite people on the planet.
Nikki,
Love
we
you,
love
ladies. She has kept.
she's a dedicated listener.
She's a dedicated listener
Thanks,
and
man.
also a dedicated. villager.
Dedicated villager. She has been around from
And
the beginning.
So
Tonight,
she's
Nikki
seen many
Brooker-
a breakdown.
She
so.
has seen our. Well, she may not have seen our breakdowns, Nikki. You may have.
She's
not
seen mine. I
mine.
just feel like nobody's not seen
But
mine.
tonight, Nikki's going to be one of our community champions at our
Good.
community dinner.
Yeah,
that
I
we're
get to
having
see you
here.
tonight.
I know. But yeah, it dawned on me last night going, wow, here's poor dad having heart palpitations and high blood pressure.
And you're like, I'm
I'm-
thriving.
I'm actually feeling really good.
Wow, I'm really sorry to
feeling
hear about
like-
your blood pressure, but
feeling
I'm
like
doing great.
our building and our business are finally at a point that we're going to be making
Okay, but you know what's
money.
interesting is the 5-year mark is what we always were looking towards.
True.
And it's been 5 years,
Here
and
we
now
are.
we're at that point where
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, so we said it would take 5 years, and we expanded in the middle of that,
Right.
and we're still
Nikki
here.
Brooker just commented, "Seen them."
Yeah, see, I know. I'm like,
There's been
I've
many
had
people
like
here have-
emotional. I've had so many different emotional breakdowns.
My favorite was when you collapsed on the floor in front of Tasha.
Yeah. Wow. I forgot I did that.
I did not. It's burned in my mind.
Yeah.
That
That was like 17 Taylors ago. I
It
would
was.
never do that now.
True. No, but even a month ago, I was like, how can I make this happen? This building is for sale. It's $11 million. And then people start throwing around the numbers as if it's nothing.
Yeah.
And so then I'm
Well,
like,
you just have to put down 2 million.
yeah, you just have to put down 2 million. Now I found a way if I go SBA, it's only 1.1. And you're like,
Oh my
what
gosh.
if I
Wait, only
again?
1.1.
You only have to
Yeah,
put
people start
down
talking about it like
1.1.
that.
You're like, oh, well, then I should be able to pull it out of my back pocket.
Mhm.
So it still seemed impossible. And I thought, where can I get $1 million? Where can I get $1 million? And now we had this opportunity. The guy selling the building is going to give us a lot of that $1 million. And we only have to come up with a part.
All
of
this
that.
to say, like, you've been very creative because of your
Yes.
persistence. Your persistence with the same people. It's like you've continued to push and push and push, not in an aggressive way, but in like, no, I really want to make
I
this
really wanna
happen.
make
This
happen.
isn't like, oh, it could be fun. You're like, I really want to do this.
Yeah.
And so because of your persistence, I think people have been like, okay, fine. there's always another way to do
well,
it.
and like we've done for the last 5 years, there's always a way to make things happen. From the very get-go, when our contractors kept telling us, you can't do something in the build out, you can't switch the men and women's bathrooms. There's
Which we
always a
didn't.
way because of money.
Yeah, I know.
But there was a way.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever you hear something, it's like there's no
But
way to make this happen.
That's been a really important lesson. I mean, producer can chime in, aka my sister, but it's like growing up with you. I feel like you have done a really good job of teaching us by example that there's always like you never like, oh, I want to
This
do
can't
this
be
thing.
done.
Someone said no, never mind.
And I actually, producer here, I'm actually, it's totally true. I was just at a company retreat. We were talking about all the things of the way things are done. And I was like, why do they have to be done that way? Like,
Yeah.
can't we just do them this way? And they're like, well,
They never
oh.
and
thought
it's
about
such a
that.
refreshing approach to any
Yeah.
brainstorming, any creative strategizing, but also just like, yeah, it's like it helps when you approach something because always you're going to have a no. Like,
Yeah.
there's always
So
going to be
many
some
no's.
roadblock, and you've done such a good job
Well,
in your
thank you.
life of going up to it and being like, okay, they said no, so I'm going to find another
But
way.
some no's are good for us.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have a no, I call them the beautiful no's. When you have a beautiful no,
I do have one. Thank you.
your beautiful no's. Sometimes we have a beautiful no that we think is tragic and terrible. And then we look back going, wow, good thing that
yeah.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have been where I am today. So yeah, but that's what I'm excited about.
Good. You are excited.
Yeah.
And I don't think me leaving didn't have anything to do with the non-breakdowns. Not because I caused them, but I think what we learned at the end of our time working together, almost 2 decades,
Yeah.
I think what we learned is we would put this unknown pressure on each other because I was like, you're my mom, I want to help you. And you're like, you're my daughter, I want to help you. And we do all these unnecessary hours
Yes.
and extra work
Stress.
because we were like, but not tell each other.
Yeah.
And so I think me leaving made you able to focus on it solely as a business.
Yes.
And not as
And
a
I told you, I
familial
go,
responsibility.
Suddenly I see it as, oh, we have a team of very capable people running this business.
and so you can let go.
I don't
Yeah.
have to do that. Yeah.
And which is always what I wanted. And you were like, no, if you're there,
If
I'm
you're
there. And I was like, well, if
and
you're
you
there,
have
I'm
a-
there.
You have a daughter and I need to be there to help you. So you're not stressed. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the lesson and all that is don't work with
Don't
family
work with
members.
Took us
Our
20 years to learn
our
that.
producer just about spit her water out.
Onto your new computer.
Yeah, onto my new computer. So yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
How about
Okay. I am currently excited about I'm so analog.
you?
Okay.
A paper book that I have that
I
I'm
did order
journaling
3
with
new
a-
books
with
yesterday.
a pen and dipping it in.
Well, what I've been
ink.
doing, and you know what, you used to do this with your like training classes or like training groups. I get 2 different magazines.
Oh yeah.
And okay, so
Love
I'm
this.
exploring, I'm like actually exploring, like I have meetings with advisors to talk about the back to school journey
I
for
love
me.
that. That's right.
And so I'm currently very excited about that process because initially I was like, it's architecture. I'd love to do architecture. But then I'm like, I don't actually want to do architecture, but I'd love to do an architecturally adjacent. I'd use that word a lot, I've realized in my life. So pardon me. But I'd love to do something in that field. Like I love the idea of combining what I graduated with a biology background, but also
And
like
conservation.
well, it's like biology and
focus.
conservation. And then, but I also loved the general contracting, like opened up so much for me where I was
True.
like, wow, I love being able to be at the forefront and being integrated into the project, coming alive, like
Right.
being built and being the one to make decisions on what's being built, how it's being built, and how it's going to end up, but like the process it takes to get there. And so I love the idea of combining those two to do a sustainably approached building process. And so I just was like, well, I guess architecture, but I've done so much research in the past few weeks, like so many like deep dive into like, what does this look like and what path does this take, etc. So I'm currently very excited because I'm applying to a program. Most likely I have to talk to an advisor because that's what I did not do when I first went to college.
And like I suggested yesterday,
Talk
also
to someone.
Talk to somebody like
Yeah.
Wendy Merchant.
Yeah.
I
And-
think somebody in the
Yeah, it's like
engineering
talking to
world-
someone who's in that world and talking to advisors. Hot tip for all the high schoolers. I did not do
Oh,
that.
She did
I
not.
went blindly into college. I was like, I don't know. I'll just
And
study
on the other
animal
hand,
science.
Bailey was at the advisors probably daily.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of
she's a
course.
researcher. She's a researcher and I'm a jumper.
The
Yeah.
amount of quizzes that I was like, what field should I
Yeah,
go
no.
into? Like,
And I was like, I don't know. I think I want to be a vet, so I should just do animal science because I might change my mind. And I just jumped, and that's a whole story.
Yeah.
But I'm currently very excited about it because I feel like as you get older too, you're a little bit more focused and you're a little bit more like I'll have a lot more motivation to do well
Yeah.
in school.
And you have context as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we've kind of done some of that in here, working with a wellness certification, working with an architect.
And the
who
well
is
certification
certified.
is basically I'm looking at a program called Environmental Science and Sustainability in Building.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
It is now, and it's very
Which is another
it's-
lesson for high schoolers.
Yeah.
There are so many careers you've never heard of.
Yeah.
How do you start?
Yeah.
Where do you look?
I mean, you look at like Ophelia just got a book last night at the library, and it says, the title of it was "If You Like Fashion, You Could Be," and it says ... and then the whole book is about all the different careers within that, like
Interesting.
costume design, fashion designer, like all these different things. And so, because she and I now do enrichment Thursdays where we go to the library so I pick her up from school, we go to the library for an hour, but we pick a topic on the way.
Oh.
And so like last night she was like, oh, I want to like learn more about fashion design. I'm like, great. So we got like a stack of books about kids fashion design. We got a bunch of Vogue magazines, and we went back and like read through them
This
all.
may not be appropriate for a 7-year-old.
No, Vogue is
No, Vogue is
90%
class. Is it
just ads?
advertisements
Okay.
and like
I guess
10%.
it's Cosmo.
Yeah. Cosmos and like Vanity Fair is kind of weird. Like, but Vogue is literally like fashion and ads about fashion. And so I was like, flip through this and like, don't just say I like this outfit. Like, what do you like about it? Do you like the texture? Do you like the colors? Do you like the structure? Do you like the silhouette? Like, start learning things like that. So we went to the library, got these books, and then we pick a documentary about that topic. So we watched a documentary about the Chanel Spring Fashion Show, and it's like the whole process leading up to it. So it's my new favorite. That's what I'm excited about, is like getting really into what is exciting you. Like, I've been watching architecture documentaries every night. I have like ordered all these books. I've been reading all these articles, and it's about the sustainability of future buildings.
Yeah.
Because we are going to have to be.
Yeah. Construction is so crazy. We were talking about that last time. Just the craziness of all the stuff they throw out when they're doing construction.
But even like, okay, so yeah, Denver's going to have a demolition process that's really strict on where things are going, what's being taken where, how are you going to recycle and reuse and whatever, which is super important. But I think my goal is to be in a degree that then goes into a master's for something that is like even more on the other side of it, where you're like, okay, I'm going to design this building, but what are we building it with, and how are those how are these products sustainable? And then when people are in this building, that's the WELL certification. Right. Like,
how can you help
when we're building it,
better?
what filters and angles of light and windows and water source and like
the air,
how
the HVAC.
You can do like where the rain gets collected and put into some sort of an aquifer that cools the building naturally, so you don't have to use as much. Cool. So there's just all these really cool techniques that I'm like really excited about.
Which is interesting because you should also wow, I had a really deep thought on that. You should also listen to podcasts on future of work.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot in the future of work, the future of construction, that talks about all this and how buildings are being designed with people in mind and how they work in the future. And so,
and a lot of it has been Danish based. Like, the Danes just do a lot. So Ophelia and I wake up every morning now and do 10 minutes of Dutch lessons. So we're learning a lot. And like when I leave her at school, she'll be like, "Ik laud van he." And I'm like, "Ik laud meer van he." And like, we're like,
what does that mean?
It means I love you. And then I say I love you more. And so
Ik nav van he.
Close.
It's kind of like my Spanish.
But she'll wake up next to me and be like, "Guten Morgen." And I'm like, "Guten Morgen to you too." Yeah. And like, she was doing Dutch Duolingo this morning.
Love it. That's so fun.
I don't know. It's a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. That's fun. I love that.
I know.
So that kind of ties into our topic. We'll wait for the trolley, and then we'll go talk about our main topic today, because you just got back from somewhere. So,
and it tied in.
I hear the trolley coming.
Do we just are we supposed to be like grabbing something?
Grab onto the trolley right now.
But
whoa.
Yeah, and I just got back from something that also tied into a news story that you had read about. That is also like a trend in the workplace.
Well, and it's something that I've been feeling, for the last year. of the absence of just time alone to be creative, whether that's writing, whether that's just
Yeah.
thinking creatively again about the business. And I feel like in our world, in all of our worlds, we have so much technology, between technology and podcasts and TVs and families and work and
Those robot
meetings,
families.
those robot families. I mean, they're just so needy, and Cheweenies, and we don't have time. We don't have quiet time.
Yeah.
In our lives, that is just reflective time.
And you have to be super intentional to get it.
You do. And then in my life, I still have not carved that out.
Mm-mm.
And you just got back from Iceland.
I did.
And what was that like, being there by yourself? You were totally alone. There was not another soul in Iceland. They had all left.
Because it's icy.
It
I
was
mean,
not icy, but it was cold.
I've been doing trips like this for a few years.
Yeah.
Like I'll just go to New York for 4 days, and like I'll end up like having lunch with someone or like meeting someone at night for a drink or whatever. But it's like I'm traveling alone, I'm staying alone, I'm doing 90% of my day alone. I'm walking around museums
Hiking,
alone.
Yeah.
I've been to LA by myself a couple times, New York once by myself once. But like I like doing these trips because we were talking about it before. I'm an extreme extrovert.
Yeah.
Like to the max. I could have a plan every single night, 7 days a week, and not feel exhausted by it. I love it. And I've made enough connections that there's always something I could be doing.
Right.
And it's hard for me to say no.
Impossible. You
Yeah.
always struggled with that.
And I'm trying to
say
be
no.
better actually
Say
at
no.
saying no
Yeah.
because of conserving my energy, and also like, what's my motivation? Is it because I'm just afraid of missing out on this opportunity, or is it because I actually like don't am I not wanting to go because like boundaries or whatever? So
Yeah.
What is it like to travel alone? It's, for me, it's super uncomfortable because
Interesting. Because you're used to being around so many people.
yeah, it's like it's super uncomfortable because I love being around people, but I don't know, and I think it's been less so the last 6 months because of being out of the village. But when it was like when I was here all the time, it did feel really good, because when you're here,
Oh.
you are never left
You're
alone.
never alone.
You're
And
never
you
left
might be in your
alone.
office alone, but then you hear people and you're like, oh, I'm going to go see
Or
what they're doing.
people know the code to the office and they're like beep boop beep beep. I just wanted to say
I just
hi. I'm
need
like,
to ask you a
what
question.
about me being in a dark office
You used
with
to
the
turn off
door
lights and put
locked
your
and
feet up so they
closed?
couldn't see you under the film.
What about that says, yeah, come on in? Nothing about that. I'll answer that for you. It says that nothing about that. But people just want to connect. They want to be here. And that was kind of our whole job. Like we were like, yeah, we've built the structure, but the whole point is for us to be the community people. So traveling alone for me is super uncomfortable because I could have plans 24/7 all the time, but I don't think it's healthy for me. So I have these forceful retreats where I'm like, you know what? No, I have a lot going on in my life. I have a lot of things to process. I have a lot of things I want to like. I remember Rob Bell, who I think I talk about every single time.
I think so.
But I remember Rob Bell years ago on one of his podcasts talking about how he like makes his own Sabbaths, where he'll just be like, I just do like Saturday afternoons where I put away my phone, my computer. And he's like, mentally, like in the mental health profession, that's also been a study that has come up. But that's when you sit and don't busy yourself. That's when all the thoughts
All
from
the
like the
creative-
previous
yeah.
week creatively, or
processing.
things where you're like, oh, that didn't really sit well with me. Like I didn't like
Right.
when that person did that or said that.
Right.
I didn't like, so you just kind of end up having these thoughts that come up that wouldn't come up if you kept busy. And so I noticed that on a very intentional trip I took like 2.5 years ago to LA. I had a lot going on in my personal life, and I was like, I have to get away from here and force myself to sit, and like had all these thoughts that just, I'm not a writer. I'm trying to like be more of like
Journal.
a journaler when I have a lot of emotions, because it is helpful. And so I think I do trips like this. One, I'm also like in a phase of my life where I have a lot more freedom,
True.
job wise, relationship wise, like all
Ophelia's
like
getting older.
Philia's
it's not-
older. It's
you
easier
don't
to just
feel-
leave her with her dad. And so it's like these things where I'm like, and I have such an itch to go somewhere else. Like I don't want to stay here and like
Yeah.
settle. And so yeah, I tend to go like, hey, I found a ticket to
Cheap
Iceland.
ticket to Iceland.
And
I'm going.
I'm gonna go. And so but for me it's uncomfortable in a good way.
Well, and it's interesting because I was thinking, okay, all of us are constantly bombarded with so much going on. But then Bailey, you brought up a point of some people work by themselves, and to get that creativity stimulated or to get out of their normal, they may have to go to a conference or something to put themselves, or like Bailey, you just got back from Chicago
Mhm.
where your team got together and had a brainstorming. You felt like that was a great retreat for you.
Yeah.
But that was because probably being alone would literally kill you.
Oh, I would not be well. You would have to visit me at the mental
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
mental institution after that.
if you're not with someone, you're on the phone with someone
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Marco Poloing someone.
100%.
Yeah.
Mostly us.
And yeah,
Only you.
not me.
no,
Marco Polo, I still
but I
don't
mean,
No,
like,
no, I
understand,
mean,
but
we
on the
yeah.
leave
phone with
here
you,
and
I'm
it's like
calling
we're literally like,
her.
okay, bye, I'm leaving, and then
And
I'll
then
call
you'll
you.
I'm
call.
calling John.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Piper.
Yeah. It's like,
So it's like there are some people that are alone enough that they feel like I need some stimulation, something new. But I was thinking it's interesting that there's a trend where people are going on these not only silent retreats, but now there's a new thing called dark retreats.
like literally lights out.
this would be your nightmare.
It's my nightmare.
It is pitch darkness.
No.
There are now facilities
Nope.
that are created, and you're in these rooms that
Mm.
are pitch
Nope.
dark. So it's like, think of the isolation tanks that I've done. What is that? What they're called?
Deprivation.
Deprivation tanks. So they're silent
Nope.
and they're dark.
Even that.
And I did that for an hour, 45
Is it
minutes. or
pitch
something.
black?
It is pitch black and silent to the point where
I'm fine with
It's ring.
silence if
you
I
can turn on like if you
a
want
tiny light.
they have like a little glowing like in a pool.
I
It's
just
in
have
the
to be able
water.
to open my eyes and have somewhat of a sense of where I
Yes,
am.
You can if you are that person that goes, I was doing it like I want to pretend like I'm
Yeah.
in space.
But you said it kind of freaked you out.
Like
you kept trying to touch the edge.
Yes. I was floating and I would just kind of float and feel
You
the
needed
edge here.
some
and then I'd
boundary.
float and feel the edge here. And then because I could see nothing and I could hear nothing. And
Yeah.
so
So the
but
dark
now-
retreat, you stay in a dark room.
and people are doing it for a week, a month.
Wait, that can't be good for
Yes.
your
Well,
brain.
people are saying they're literally going crazy in there. Like that
Yeah.
they feel like their thoughts.
well,
But then
Yeah,
there's other
that's a-
people that feel like
biologically.
they feel like it's like detox for their system of all the technology.
For
and all
sure,
the
but
things.
does it need to be pitch
And
black?
the only food you get, they open a trap door. I mean, they give you food at these retreats, but the only way you get it is they open this little door and it slides the food
you
in
don't
and they
leave the
close it.
room.
You don't leave the room. So look it up. There's dark retreats, and the tech world is jumping on this, and they're becoming very popular.
Classic tech world.
It is. I don't think it'll last because I just go, that can't be. I don't know. I love the idea of going in nature and being silent, but in
I
the
could do
dark-
I could do a week.
I'm curious. Those of you listening, could you do a dark? No. The question is, how long could you do a pitch dark silent retreat?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
8 hours of sleep.
Could you? No, while you're awake.
Like I
An
think
hour.
after 30
An
minutes,
hour?
I would have an absolute like anxiety attack.
You would. You couldn't even go through like
Except
the
here-
Halloween tunnels where you crawl through. and
Bailey
there's
would make fun of
lights.
me because like our church strobe light.
Taylor would be like, I can't
yeah.
do it. Yeah.
But I've gotten better at it. Like I went to a museum in Iceland where you go through an ice cave. It's like a simulated one,
Yeah,
but
that's
you
cool.
walk into it and then behind you this door closes, and the only exit is like through. It reminded me of
Yeah.
Hezekiah's tunnel in
Hezekiah's
Israel,
tunnel in
where there is
Israel.
no going back. There's no going back.
It's 45 minutes.
and the
It was
the way
approximately
forward
45 minutes.
Gets like the water up to your knees. It's pitch black, and the
Yeah.
walls get really narrow because it's a
They
tunnel
dug it.
underground.
Yeah.
And that was maybe the most proud thing I've ever done in my
I was
life.
proud of you because dad went one year, I went the next year, and then you were going the following year with groups, and you said, I can't do it. I can't do it.
At the tunnel, I was like, "Yep, y'all
And
go."
I told you, I was like, you can do
Well,
it.
I can do anything. I can do anything with a time frame.
Yes. Even
So-
listen to a drum solo.
Also, I'm looking at the Ultimate Darkness Retreat.
Yeah.
It's a full experience that includes it's a 6-day program, 3 days in total darkness, but daily support from counselors, satsang, not sure what that means, group meditation, guided breathing techniques, cold exposure, reflexology, sound healing, self-evaluation, and
Yeah,
counseling.
you made it sound like a prisoner of
Yeah.
war camp.
Introductory
That's what it
night in
sounds like.
darkness, organic vegan meals, sharing meetings. But here's what's interesting to me.
Because even in
Their
a prison, it's
website
light
is
the
all
time.
like beautifully well lit rooms.
Oh,
Well, because
interesting.
what? How would you take a picture of a dark room?
Just put it
It would be a black
Yeah,
square.
you even bathe in the dark. Like
Yes,
it's
you do
all-
everything in the
But there's a
dark.
patio, like an outdoor patio. There's
where there's light.
group meditation, and they're in the grass in the sunshine.
Okay,
So
well, there's some
so
that
I
say,
Also, that's
Uh,
one.
but they
yeah,
say
I just
3
have a
days
lot
of
of-
the 6 you're
Yeah,
in
so-
darkness, and maybe the other 3 you're in light.
I
don't
think
know.
I could maybe.
you can purchase an additional day of darkness for 350 pounds. So,
Oh, so it's in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's some I think in Arizona.
They don't
Caves,
pay in
maybe.
pounds there. They pay in cactus.
Yeah, I was thinking at first, wow, that sounds like prison, but except prison is the opposite. It's never dark.
Yeah.
Like there's always a light on. So
and
it's like
sound and people. But
yelling. Yeah.
the point is,
Yeah.
these are catching on because, especially tech industry,
Yes,
the
of
tech
our-
industry, it's constant stimulation.
Yeah.
Constant. Like those people work 24 hours a day. It's literal technology in front of you all
Yeah.
the time. It's computers, it's spreadsheets, it's
Meetings,
decisions,
it's-
it's strategies.
Yeah.
It's constant stimulation.
Then you
So
go
I
home if you have
understand
kids
the
and you have
human's
spouse, you're good, yeah.
biological need of saying, I want it all to cut out because naturally it should be during the day you're stimulated and then at night you can like unplug. But now people's way of unplugging is technology.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to unplug by scrolling
I'm
on my
gonna scroll,
iPad or
or-
watching Netflix for
I was
4
just
hours.
going to say, most people cannot go in their house without turning on the TV.
That's why I put mine away.
You threw it away.
Well, I gave it away.
Do you have it in the garage? You
I
already
do have one in the garage for working out, but
Yeah.
it's a pretty crappy TV.
Yeah,
Like
but you-
really poor sound quality.
Yeah.
But it's so natural. It's
Yes.
like how I hide my candy. It's like out of sight, out of mind.
I was like, where do you hide it?
Okay. Yesterday I took
There's still
I
peach
took
rings
flour
in my
out.
office that are yours.
I couldn't find them.
They're in that
But
cabinet.
but I took out flour to make pancakes the other day, and literally a bag of candy fell on me, and I was like, oh, and I ate half of it because now it's in my sight and it's in
Yeah.
my mind, and I need it. But originally I got a few out, and I was like, oh no, and I just chucked it on the highest pantry shelf. So it's like that for technology. Like yes, culturally right now you can unplug by like people wind down.
Yeah.
There are people who are like, well, my winding down is I need to go watch 3 hours of TV, and I'm like,
Right.
do you hear yourself though?
Yeah.
You're unplugging by watching something that's plugged. Like, take a second, people. Live a little more analog.
Yeah.
Throw your TV out.
Or your TV. Well, no, what I'm going to challenge everyone is go to a deprivation tank because you can do it for 45 minutes and you can leave a
But
little light
you
on,
have to go in with the right intention.
but just to have time to decompress
but
and
if
not
you have
be
time
with-
to do that, chiming in here, producer here, I think you like go.
At least we don't know.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to go pay to do a deprivation tank. Like try. to
No, that
even
sounds.
Try to not bring your phone or computer and sit at
Sure.
a coffee shop.
Or just go for a walk.
yeah,
sit on
like,
your
See, a coffee shop,
sit-
you're still around lots of stimulation.
But like, go sit on your porch or or take a bath with nothing.
No sound, nothing.
Like, just
relax.
try to try when you're feeling overstimulated. Watch what you go towards.
True.
And if you're about to like turn on something or
Something,
look at something or open, just
Don't.
stop and be like,
I
hold
think
on,
I
let
need
me
to
sit here.
suggest that Dad do like
An
another
Instagram detox.
a
no more
Chewini
dog.
detox.
No more. I think he's like last year he did that walk.
Oh, the walk where it
He
was
did it was like 20 miles. I think their
It was
goal
a
was all
timeline.
day. You had to leave
Yeah.
in the morning and you couldn't come back and you had to just walk all
it was
day.
like 12
No
hours.
phone,
Yeah.
Nothing. He came back with blisters on his feet, but he still to this day is like, oh, I went on. That's the path that I went on when I did my
When
walk.
you have no technology, you are forced to look around.
Yeah. True.
And the things you'll see.
The things you'll see. So, or doing something where you're just alone. I mean, think about Dad's. He used to go up to the mountains by himself with a tent and be the lone wolf.
Well, Tessa,
And he hasn't been the lone wolf, and now he just has me
no,
driving him to the point of he's
Yeah.
having high blood pressure.
he was the wait. This is such a funny image. It just came to me. He was this lone. He was this lone wolf.
Now he's a-
And now
he's a
he's a
king.
little he's a little Yorkie being yanked around on a leash by you because you're like, we're gonna get this building and start this business, and he's just like where he used to be the lone wolf, like leading the charge.
No, he's like an old German Shepherd that was been beat.
Like, I used to have a purpose.
I used to be the alpha
A
dog
retired
here.
cop.
Now, yeah, he's a
Retired.
retired cop dog.
He's just-
Canine.
Poor guy.
Oh, poor
But
dad.
Tessa in here, she said that her dad every year goes on a solo RV like trip
Oh,
for the
interesting.
So
whole month
relate it
of.
back to business. Why it's good for your business.
Yes.
Thank you, producer.
Yes, producers keeping us on track.
But I mean, we've kind of been.
It's good for our mental health. I feel like the reason I feel like I'm craving that is I don't have time to create. Like I'd love to write more. We did start a writers group here. If you're interested in writing a book, I think there's only 4 or 5 of us that we've been getting together. We're meeting here monthly and we're just spending time like in silence writing for 45
When
minutes.
is
Not
that?
in
I'll
silence.
put it in. drop it in the
I think our
chat.
next one is July 15th. We do have some background music on just so it's
It's
not
only
silent.
June 12th. Did you already do June?
We already had one in June.
Okay.
And then July we have 4th of July, so we had to move it
Oh, it's
to
the 13th, by the way.
Um
Just a heads up for everyone. Today's the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I
Oh.
said it's the 12th.
Oh,
I just
got
want
it.
everyone to know I'm still sane.
Got it. Okay.
Um,
But the writers thing it was good because
Yeah.
it's making us spend time writing. And then our challenge is we have to have 4,000 words written before our next meeting.
but if you're okay, which
and
means you have
so-
to set aside intentional
which
time
is
to do that.
Yes, that's my
Yeah.
thing is that means you have to wake up early in the morning or stay up late when everyone else is in bed and all dogs are sound asleep in our bed and just write. So
But I mean, but let's pretend you're not a writer. Like
yeah,
the point of it, which I feel like we've been saying, but the point of it, the reason these dark retreats are trending, the reason that it's important to unplug is not like, oh, I see too many people, I need to relax now. But it's like biologically, your brain needs time to like recover,
Yeah.
restore those connectivity, those neuro pathways. Like you
probably don't
actually
remember
scientifically
computers used to have to defrag.
Yeah.
At the end.
Well, I don't
like,
remember, but I know the term.
Yeah. So like at the end of a week or whatever, you would hit this defrag and it would show on your computer all the little fragments of all the work you've done and it would show them all being cleaned up. Like and
Well,
all the
and
things being put
even
back in
like the
place.
science of sleep, when I was talking about it last week, that same podcast, like at the end, they talked about, because scientists, it's one of those things where they're like, we still don't really know why we have to sleep. Like, yes, there's muscle recovery, there's like brain, but it's still always like, why do we have to? And because humans are like, can we sleep less? Can we do more? It's like, no. But they would say like at night, what's happening is you have all these things that happen to you during the day, and they have different wavelengths, and so they can kind of listen to it, and they have different levels of sound in your brain too. And so at night, what your brain is doing is cleaning out the ones that are like my drive to work or conversations that just kind of like didn't take a lot of brain power, and so they just clean those up. They're like, we don't need to hold on to those. We need to get those out so we don't have to hold on to that energy. And then after everything like quiets down and is cleaned out, the thing that remains is love your thought. No.
Love
but
where your
the
head's
thing that
at.
remains is like all the new things that you are learning and doing are the ones that stay to create these new neural pathways. And so they're like, if you're learning an instrument and you're like staying up late, frustrated, trying to figure this out, or
Like me and my
learning a new
ukulele.
technology, or
Yeah.
learning
Spanish.
anything new, any language, if you're getting frustrated because you're staying up studying, doing these things, they're like, go to bed, and in the morning you actually know it.
Yeah.
And so the whole point is like unplugging, dark retreats. If you think you need to keep going constantly for your business to evolve, but actually like I would challenge you, since we're challenging people,
Challenge you.
the challenge is to do it for a weekend.
Yeah.
And then see like if you're in a rut with a certain thing, like a big decision you have to make about your company, or a creative rut where like where are we going next, or what's the next like
Thing for my life,
for my
business,
life, for my
something.
business. If there's whatever area it is that you're just like, gosh, I just feel like I'm working on this all the time because I can't figure it out. Unplug for one weekend. Like, don't just zone out. Unplug. Like, sit on your porch and just sit there and see what comes
For
to
an
you.
entire weekend?
Well, it's like
an hour per weekend.
No, but it's like go on a walk in the morning. Go on a long walk. Walk to a coffee shop, and don't bring your phone, and just sit there, and then walk back, and then like read a book, or like it has nothing to do with business. Like flip through a magazine, like make
that
food.
isn't business related.
Yeah, just like stop
something random.
trying
Yeah.
to put effort into this issue, and then on Monday, refreshed from not having overtime, like sleep, like, and then see what happens.
Yeah.
See what
Or
happens.
get on an app and find cheap tickets to Iceland.
But then when you're there, you're taking walks, you're sleeping in,
I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious if anyone how long could you do a dark retreat, and what challenge will you give yourself to unplug this weekend or the next week?
Yeah.
To do. Yeah, I love that.
Wait, did you see how long you could do a dark retreat for?
like how long I could.
Yeah.
Oh,
You think you could do the 3 days?
No.
1 day,
I could do a day.
all day.
Yeah, I think I could do all day.
I just feel like your body wouldn't get tired,
kind
so
of
you'd be
crave-
awake
I
for
mean,
like 20 hours.
Sometimes, and it's not dark, but sometimes Dad will walk in the room. He's like, "It's silent in here." Like I'm working
Yeah.
or I'm writing, but it's just silent. I don't need background music. I
Yeah.
don't need TV on. I've kind of gotten to a point which I didn't used to. I used to always have to have some noise.
That's our producer over there.
Yes, that is her
Like
now.
the fact that I drive home in silence really freaks you out.
But I think as you get older too, your kids are finally grown, and you're like, I kind of crave.
Yeah,
Quiet.
yeah, that's
So,
probably true.
Yeah, as your kids get older, you're realizing, oh, there doesn't always have
Because
to be
maybe the
noise.
less you have of it, like working at the village, like I was like, I just need the most silence possible. And I'm an extrovert, so it was crazy, but it was because the village is constant
there's always-
stimulation.
yeah.
So I do
24/7.
think like when you have a good rhythm of it, you don't crave it as much because you're kind of already working it into your routine. But I love that.
I think it's great. I
Yeah.
hear the trolley, so we're gonna head to the newsroom next.
Ah, yes.
The newsroom.
The newsroom. This is where you shine.
This is where I get
And this is where I lasso. Producer, watch the time.
jumped on.
My producer job and do a bad job. I don't know when we started. Oh, are we aiming for an hour?
Yeah.
Perfect.
What does that mean for us?
We got 20 minutes left.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 10.
so much time.
10 for the
10
newsroom.
minutes. Okay. Well, first I have to give a shout out to Sophia and Brooke, our
Cute.
interns, because one of the
Are they
news
both here
stories.
today?
No, only
Applause.
they're
Oh, sorry. I don't think I did it right. So you guys.
because you had to go back to the sound.
Yeah.
Other things.
That's okay.
Applause. Applause for our interns. Yes. If
Cute.
you have not gone to our Instagram, go to the Village Workspace Instagram page
Mm.
because first of all, Bailey has revamped it and it looks so good.
Yeah.
And there's just great content on there. But we have these two adorable interns, Sophia and Brooke. Sophia was here last year.
Uh-huh.
That's when we first discovered her at the Cherry Creek Innovation Campus. She was in their hospitality program. She was just graduating, and she came here and worked last summer. And then she went off to college to Florida somewhere. She dropped the dance group.
Why?
She's not she joined the dance group or dance
Yeah. Was it too
team.
much?
Yeah.
School. Yeah.
same as Bailey with the
Any
sororities.
collegiate
It's like-
athlete, like
yeah, it's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
So she's not dancing, but she had a great first year. She came back over the holiday break, I think once or twice, and now this summer she's working the whole summer here with Brooke. And Brooke is my dear friend Kathy Romero's daughter, and they're both so great. And I challenged them one night to just create some reels, introducing themselves, and then
those
Bailey
youngsters.
gave them all kinds of like ideas, and they've just been running with it and creating
Cute.
reels every day. So it's really fun. But it reminded me of Coca-Cola Company had some interns, and in 2013,
Okay.
some interns that were there created what is just come to market, Sprite.
It's a
tea.
long process.
That is a long process. Sprite tea. Have you seen it in the stores?
No, I saw it on a truck though, like
You
an
did?
advertisement for
Yeah,
it.
Sprite tea.
The
It
day
doesn't
you talked about it,
sound
actually, and I
good
was
to
like,
me.
ugh. Well, Sprite doesn't sound good to me.
I mean, Sprite kind of sounds like just sweet sparkling water, but
Oh, is that where we're at?
hold on.
Is that where we're at in our health journey?
Compared to an Alani energy
It's
drink,
like Parks and Rec.
yeah.
There's a part in Parks and Rec where they're like, it's called Zero Water or something. And they're like, because there's zero water in it. And it's like a soda and it's like a child size, which means it could fit a small child. And it's like
In
this
it.
whole joke about American
Yeah.
obesity. But
Yeah, well,
Sprite is not sparkling water.
no, I said it's like sparkling water with sugar.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of what Sprite is, isn't
Yeah.
it? Well, lemon lime flavoring and lots of chemicals,
Yeah.
but it's just
Is it carbonated tea? I'm trying to figure
yeah,
it out.
Sprite.
But it's
Tea.
Sprite mixed with
It says
tea.
Sprite and tea is exactly as it sounds. A mighty collision of lemon, lime, and naturally flavored tea flavors.
I mean,
Still
tea and
caffeine free
lemon.
and delicious. But
Yeah, I guess if you think of tea with lemon, so but
It's wild.
anyway,
Oh,
It's
it is
wild.
sparkling. So it's like a sparkling iced tea, lemon flavored.
Sprite. So it'd be like a Arnold
It's
Palmer.
Sprite
Wait,
mixed
no.
with
Oh no, because
tea.
Arnold Palmer is just lemonade and iced tea, so there's no carbonation. But I have had. Remember when I was at the restaurant and I said, "Do you have
Oh, sparkling lemonade.
do you have sparkling lemonade?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Do you have
sparkling water?
And do you have lemonade?"
Oh my gosh.
What if we put them together and create something?
Because there's always a way. Back to
always
the
a way.
beginning.
I always try to teach restaurant
Oh,
service.
Yeah,
to get
she'll order
creative.
grilled cheese when they don't have it, and she's like, "But do you have bread?
Do you have cheese?
Do you have cheese?" And
Oh,
they're like, "Oh
Let's
my
put it
gosh,
together and
woman."
make magic.
Yeah.
Restaurant employees shivered after.
Yeah,
When
no, they
they see me
spit in
coming.
all of your food for sure, for sure. Which is maybe why your immune system is so
It's
good.
so good.
So much spit from strangers in your food.
Makes me healthy. Anyway, it was interns that came up with Sprite tea in that summer. So I hope they get some money for that.
But what you're saying is the value of having an intern
Yeah,
in and listening and
because
valuing their ideas because they're a new
They have
demographic, they're fresh ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm excited about that. But there is a dating app that's new. So this is interesting because I told you to think about this. The dating app is called Love Jack.
Weird name.
Yeah, Love Jack. I don't know where it came from, but
Like a
the whole concept
Tire
of
Jack?
Love Jack is you can load up one photo
okay.
and 5 words to describe yourself. So I was thinking,
Yeah, what were
what
yours?
words? Fun, adventurous, learning, sassy, and chewini. Those
Oh
would be
my
my
gosh.
5 words. Nobody would ever click on my profile.
That's
Wait,
Except
can
for
you
Dad.
repeat those?
Yeah.
fun,
Fun,
adventurous,
adventurous, learning,
sassy.
sassy, and chewinis. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What 5
I'd
words
click on that.
to describe yourself? And on this
Um,
app, you can change it. I think it's a daily. I don't know. You can probably change it as often as you want, but you can all, it's not like these profiles, which I've never seen profiles. So thankfully,
Well, every
it's
app
not
is
like
different,
you
but
can post a whole bunch of pictures that are all photoshopped and a bunch of text about yourself that's all fake. This is just 5 words.
okay.
So it's, to me, it's kind of making you be super creative.
It is making you be like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's cool because also like, yeah, like you said, the apps get a little distracting with the length you can go
Or can you
on
put
some of them.
tons?
I mean, it's just a lot, which
Yeah.
I think the intention behind it was like, oh, you can learn a lot about
A
someone.
person,
But
true.
also like you can also as the person make yourself seem like someone you're
like
not.
like you're a rocket scientist. And,
So I like the idea of being like, here are the 5 words. If that
Yeah.
intrigues you, do
Right.
it. If not, move on.
Yeah.
I would say this is so hard. Stubborn. They have to know.
yeah,
Like
put
they
it
have
right
to
out
know.
there.
Yeah. I can't say aggressive. Like they'll find that out. But
That's
stubborn,
word number 6.
spontaneous because I am not a planner.
Right. That was a
Um,
good one.
Yeah. I'm like persistent, but I'm like, am I just pushing people away at this? Like,
profile 0 views in 6 years.
Yeah, they're like, she sounds terrifying, and I'm like, I am.
Aggressive,
I am
persistent,
terrifying. Like because I hate using
stubborn.
This is not to knock your profile. I hate using words like fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what does that mean? Like, I'm spontaneous. I'm curious. Okay,
That's a
so
good one.
spontaneous, curious,
good ones.
stubborn.
Yeah. Time's up.
Metropolitan. I don't know because I don't want the activities to be like, let's go camping
Oh, yeah.
because I've realized that's not my
you're
thing.
not out, even though you are
I
outdoorsy.
can be outdoorsy.
You are outdoorsy, but you would rather be in a big
but-
city.
Well, I'd rather be in a big, but it's something I've learned about myself.
Metropolitan's what that is. It's a word that makes me want to go. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would say metropolitan because also in that scenario, if I said outdoorsy, I would get a lot of people who are like, do you want to go on a hike?
Hunters, campers,
And I'm like, do I
fishing.
want to go on a hike? Yeah. But I'd rather have that be once we know each other, then I can be like, hey, would you ever like want to go on a hike with me?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want that to be our first connection.
Right.
My first connection, I need you to know that like, I like to get dressed up.
Cultured. There's a good
Cultured.
word.
But am I? I try to be.
You are.
But it's like
very cultured.
I just want to like eat good food and go to a museum and like talk and
Cultured.
like yeah. So yeah, those would be my words.
Yeah. So Love Jack. I thought that was a great.
Picking one photo sounds hard.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm sure again you could change it, but
No, you can,
you're
but
going one picture that
yeah.
that describes you. That
Yeah.
kind of captures you and your essence. So I thought that was funny. One thing, another big story in the news that maybe everyone's heard
Producer of
about
time.
right
You gotta
now.
pay attention to the time, producer.
Things are going
Starbucks.
great.
Starbucks is in the news a lot right now. First of
Why?
all, they just came out with like everyone else, like the Kardashians, protein creamer to put in your drink.
The Kardashians have protein
They
creamer?
have protein powder that's
What is it,
over
like
popcorn.
collagen?
It's snack. No, it's
Protein
they came out
popcorn.
with who was
But
it
is it
Chloe?
like
Or
protein
was
and
it?
collagen or it's just
I
protein?
think it's just protein.
It's just protein powder that they sprinkle on popcorn and chips and stuff.
It's just popcorn. I'll
Yeah.
say it again.
Who is
It's
it?
just protein
It's
popcorn.
just our
So it's not
This is
powder.
trying-
It's just protein popcorn.
yes. but
Okay,
what
so
is
it's
the
not
protein-
powder.
The
But it's not like you
protein.
buy the
It's
powder
Khloe
to sprinkle
Kardashian.
on.
No, Khloe Kardashian is selling popcorn, but she's saying it's protein popcorn, but it really is just this protein
This
powder.
is a hot, mean take. I think Khloe Kardashian has had the worst work done and has had like
Oh,
she
Watch
looks
out. Bailey's already
she
getting
looks-
fired up.
I saw a picture of her the other day and I was like, wow, like obviously Kim's had they've had so
Yeah,
much work done.
All of them. Yeah.
But I was like, wow, Chloe doesn't look good. And they have all the money in the world to like look
Really?
good. And like whoever did Kim's, but I'm like, Chloe looks, and I do not, I can say I do not follow them at all. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she
you
has
just saw
looked
the
like
one
this.
picture and the 5 words, and Taylor's
But
basing it on
my
that one
goodness, I was like, wow, you are filled
she's-
to the brim.
with popcorn, with protein powder popcorn. But back to my news story. Let's go back to me.
Okay, back
Um,
to you.
Yeah, Starbucks. So it's
Oh yeah.
so it's a
Cold
so it's a
foam, cold brew.
foam protein creamer. And the word on the street
don't
is it
think-
kind of has a banana flavor. So I was
Mm.
like, all right, would you put that in your coffee?
I don't think Starbucks should be getting into that.
Yeah, well, they're
Well,
already empty.
protein is a phase that's going to be how
Yeah.
low fat was in the early 2000s.
Oh,
True.
wow,
Everything has
such a
added
good
protein because
Comparison.
of Ozempic. Think about that.
What do you mean?
Everyone's on Ozempic or whatever the brands are.
Yeah.
So you're losing weight, but then they tell you when you're taking that, you need to up your protein.
Mhm.
So everything has protein. Every snack. now
Whoa, I
has
had
protein.
not thought about
Make
companies
that
being like,
connection. Yeah. What's the opportunity right now is create things with
Whoa.
protein. So everything you're seeing, and now Starbucks is jumping on that, going, oh,
what
create
if you,
your
what if you
5,000
give people
calorie
free beef
frappuccino.
jerky in the offices? So you're like, it's an office with protein.
Yeah.
Get in on that.
yeah, maybe that would drive more people to just sit in the cafe and eat
Wait,
protein.
wow. I did not even, Ozempic. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and think
But
about all the
because it's,
things
I think
now
it's
that are
kind of weird for
changing.
Starbucks to try and get into any nutritional alley. Like that's not your zone. I can
True.
get a little sketchy where it gets
I
a
mean,
little
they have
lawsuit,
The refreshers are acai.
but that's
and-
like
Well, they got into a lawsuit
about
because
what?
of it?
with their energy refreshers.
Yeah, because it's
Oh.
like anytime you're in
Yeah,
a
'cause it
health
says it's an
space,
energy refresher.
well, that one feels weird because I'm like,
A
you're there
recent
for
$50
coffee.
million lawsuit against Starbucks stemmed from a oh no, this is something completely different. I guess $50 million lawsuit of a hot drink spilling on someone's
Oh, yeah.
lap.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so dumb.
Well,
That is so crazy. I hate
But-
those.
That
Oh, sorry,
like,
it was Panera Bread. Panera Bread got majorly sued for their energy drinks, claiming it had natural flavors and all this energy causing problems.
And it wasn't. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Starbucks, like, okay, so when you boil it down, it's where you go and you know what you're getting. You're getting caffeine or energy, and like, it's not like you're saying I'm coming here for something that's good for me.
True.
I'm
I mean,
coming
I
here
go there
for
for that.
well, I'm coming here for a treat, and then if I happen to have a super fruit, obviously it's like you're not
Well,
really
this,
there.
I'm
But to
just
say
picturing how
I'm
funny
getting protein now, people are
in
gonna
your frappuccino. So let's just talk about that.
yeah.
Frappuccino, 5,000 calories or whatever it is, with
5,000.
all the sugar in it, and then can you add protein creamer to that?
You're like,
that's what's gonna
why? So that
happen.
you can
Yeah.
get chubbier
Yeah. I
faster.
don't know. So
That's crazy.
yeah, I thought that was kind of a crazy thing.
Wow.
I
But
had-
but an interesting business thought of saying, looking at the projected
Opportunity,
trends, it's
yeah.
like, okay, so Ozempic has nothing to do with me, but people who are on Ozempic or Ozempic related things,
suddenly
the one thing that's common across all of it is they need protein. So how can I integrate
protein,
that?
and you've got to start building more muscle because they say that Ozempic, I guess, eats at your muscles, or
I mean, it
I don't know.
just can't be good. Yeah.
and so you need to now work out more. So I would think more strength training if you're a personal trainer, really capitalizing on that. If you're a gym,
Interesting.
focusing on
Yeah.
weight.
So in your industry, what are the
exercise.
things
Yeah, what are
that
the
you're
things
like,
that you can
like
add?
co-working? Like for us, it's like, okay, COVID was now 5 years ago, which means office building leases are now probably being fully let go. Like, because
Oh,
we would
yeah.
talk to people who were like, well, our office lease is up in 5 years.
Right.
And you're like, okay. So it's like, this is such a simple example. And there's probably other ones that are like more trending where there's like, I don't know, like
Anything right
anything
now,
that you're like, okay, well, this
the
doesn't really
tariffs
have
right
anything
now,
to do with
the
me.
tariffs
but
have to do with everything that's being imported has
Mhm.
higher rates put on them, which we all have seen. They're all being scale back. But then the trend would be, okay, what can I do that's creating that same product here in the US,
Yeah.
here local? I
Yeah.
think local with AI being a trend, the human touch is going to be more on trend.
Yeah.
So it's like looking at what are the things that are really trending and how can I as a business capitalize in one of these areas that I'm going to see traction. It's basically like hydro boosting, whatever your idea is.
Yeah.
And Starbucks is jumping on that bandwagon, adding some protein creamer to their drink.
Interesting.
So, yeah. And then they'll make a little smiley face on your cup because they're supposed to doodle
So it's
for the
going to be
human
the
touch.
Ozempic and the CrossFit people who are like, give me that protein.
Give me the protein. Now they're going to go. But when you think about it, what was the bulletproof coffee?
Mhm.
So
Was that at Starbucks?
I'm sure Starbucks had a version because remember they had the olive oil coffee?
Yeah, the Oleo.
Oleo? Like I
Is that what
never
it's
had
called?
that. I think so.
I actually really liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Didn't it have like a weird
I mean, it tastes like olive
Oily.
oil in your coffee, but it was like I liked it. I just drank
Yeah.
the dregs of my jar of olive oil veggies and I was just like, I mean, there's an olive oil tasting place in Fort Collins where you just go and take
And I
like
do
shooters
that.
of
Yeah, like
olive
you do
oil.
a little shot of olive oil, different flavored olive
Yeah.
oil. Yeah.
But
Give me garlic
interesting
olive
trend.
oil all day long. Dab it behind my ears.
Honestly,
put it on
you
my
would.
wrist and then
You
drink
would.
it.
Yeah.
Garlic.
Wow.
But yeah, those are my news stories.
Thanks for bringing us to the newsroom.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And then the dark retreats. I think that's another big trend that we'll see. Like, how are people unplugging from all this
I think
technology?
it'll mostly be Silicon Valley people who actually do the dark retreats.
Oh, I could see it here in Colorado. People go up in the mountains.
I
and-
don't think they'll do a dark retreat. I think we'll see a trend of people unplugging more. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not
the
against that.
dark retreats. Yeah.
But the dark retreats those are
Maybe-
like I'm paying for 6 days of
But you know what? Maybe you need to do the opposite. Since you were in Iceland, it was 20. How many hours of sunlight?
yeah, it was 20. I mean, it never got dark.
I would do a light retreat where there's no darkness.
Why is that? Why?
I don't know. I
So
love
that
it.
you can do
sunlight.
more.
It, should be
It was
sunny.
disorienting
be in the
because it would
sun
be like
24
I'd be like,
hours.
okay, I should like go to bed and be like, it's 1:30 in the morning.
And it's so bright out.
Yeah, I mean, I have a picture I'll show you, but it's like hard to show you right now. But it's crazy. It was like, wow, it's 2 in the morning and it's just
Light.
feels like 6 o'clock here or 7 o'clock, like an hour before sunset.
I think
But-
I'd love that.
I think the challenge is to unplug. So pick one thing where you're like, all right, when I get home, I immediately turn on the TV. Or usually when I am waiting for my food to be ready or something at a restaurant, I immediately get out my phone. Just
my
pay
thing.
attention to one
Even
of those
when I'm in
things and
line
stop.
at the grocery store, I take out my phone and go, now I can finally answer all these emails.
Yeah.
Or I can look at, what did
Like
our
take that
fun
10
interns
minutes
post.
of not working is not going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
It's going to make it better.
True.
Okay. Wow.
I know,
Thanks.
fun. Wait, and I have to just mention starting next week, are we going to have Maria come in and do?
Yes. So
This is Taylor's idea. We'll see if Maria goes for it.
yeah, she will.
Are
Oh,
we just going to have her come in for one segment? Because she will have no idea what we're talking about. The rest.
Oh,
of
yeah. She's going to come in at the beginning and do a 5-minute. So we're going to do
Spanish lesson.
un momento con Maria. A momento con Maria or Maria, momento
love
de
it.
Maria, something where I just think it's important to teach. We've been talking about Duolingo. We've been talking about other countries or
Andrea and I
languages.
are like sparring partners in
Yeah.
Duolingo.
And so
We're
I think
trying
it's
to learn
important
Spanish.
to introduce a little bit of that into that. I think it'd be
Yeah.
fun. Every now and then we'll do a 5-minute segment where she teaches us an important phrase in Spanish and maybe like the way we're using it wrong or something like the way you
She
were saying
tells
mucho
me-
gusto.
Yes.
It's like I didn't realize that could also
Me
just be
either.
like a constant phrase you say.
That was my big wow
Mhm.
is, and then she tells us that some of the things that we're learning on Duolingo are just trash. She's like, no one ever says that. So
I know that's
she
what's
gives us
hard.
the real lowdown. And so
Yeah.
I think that's good.
But so stay tuned. Thanks for hanging.
Yeah.
We're trying.
And we'll see you next week. I think I hear the trolley coming. So we'll jump on and we'll head off into the sunset and see you all next week.